And in 5 seconds, I should move to the spawn location. Boom. That works wherever I set it. And then I should be able to do bend it, bank. I should see balance, pay history. So I'm gonna, or so I thought it was going to be that easy, but it totally was not. Something terrible just happened. I'm in the middle of fixing my code, making it so clean. Like this plugin used to be like 300 lines of code. Now I'm making it less than 50. And then I tried it out to see if it would work. All right, I've just got the plugin all written up and I've got it packaged. I've got my test server going. Let's jump in here. Let's see if our commands are going to work. Are we going to get an error right off the bat? I must see. So let's do bend it, teleport, list. Wrong number of arguments required. Hey everyone, Chris and the mic here, and I want to create a new feature in my Hytale plugin for my Hytale server. So right now what I have implemented is the teleport service. So I've got this teleport service and it teleports a user from wherever they want to wherever they want, and all the data is saved in a file that ends up in a folder on the user's server. Today, I am focused on adding a currency feature to my plugin. So I need to get prepared to do that. So I'm going off on my vibe coding adventure, and in order to get started, I need to be able to tell my Amazon Q Claude code exactly what to do. And so I have this ticket template rule for my Amazon Q extension that's going to be able to detail what the LLM needs to accomplish, what this agent needs to accomplish for the goal of creating a currency. And so we're going to talk conversationally to Amazon Q, and then we're going to have a ticket created out of this. Okay, so here's where I'm at. I'm beginning to structure my prompt for Amazon Q, and I'm saying, this is a plugin located in Hytale plugin, and I have, because that's how I have my project structured, I have my plugin located in this folder called Hytale plugin, and then I have the decompiled Hytale server.jar, like all of the server code decompiled in a folder called Hytale. So with Java files, you have to decompile them in order to see the code. So this is a plugin located in Hytale plugin, and that is where the code resides. There's a folder called Hytale where the decompiled Hytale server.jar code resides. We need to add a currency feature for players. To view their balance, users use /benditbalance. I can't think of any other features besides just checking your balance and being able to pay other players just to start. And then I'll tell the Amazon Q and any other useful commands. And let's see what it comes up with. It's just going to create a ticket, I think. So, oh, I forgot to say create a ticket. Create a new ticket. So let's see what it comes up with. So usually I prompt the LLM like this, and then I check out the details of the ticket, and then I continue the conversation and create the ticket and the features as I see fit. Okay, so here is the new currency feature. Let's take a look at the file that was produced. And we can see exactly what it's saying. So the objective, implement a player currency system with balance viewing, player-to-player payments, and per-player JSON file storage. Implement a currency system for Bendit Hytale. So I have it generating the prompt. So I'm literally going to copy and paste this prompt and put it into the system. And another thing that I'm realizing is that the prompt is coming out kind of wonky. I want all prompts to be phased because the LLM can't handle a lot of data at the same time. So I have like this prompt here and then implementation phases with prompts. So I think I need to take this section out, the prompts section. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out this parentheses that says optional. I'm going to take this out as well. And then I'm going to reprompt the LLM with the same thing that I did, and I'm going to have it create a new ticket. So I'll undo this work. So weird, this time it like just created the ticket in chat, and I wanted it to create the literal ticket file. So let me go ahead and give it the ticket template as the context and say, okay, go ahead and create the ticket. and let's see if it'll actually produce the file, because it's an agent. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So now it's going to create that file. We get to review and conversate with it some more to figure out if we like those features or not. So let's open this one up. So this is the new one with a phased prompt approach. Nope, it decided to do one single prompt there. Okay, so it must be a small enough task. So let's focus on it. Currency system for the Bendit Hytale plugin following these requirements. Use the Hytale API adapter, store currency data in JSON files. Each player gets their own currency file with structure, default starting balance. Commands to implement: Bendit balance player shows another player's balance. Ooh, requires permission. That's a good one. Bendit pay player amount, transfer currency to another player online. Let's see, pay player amount. That's interesting. So that's a good command, just thinking about it. Currency add, admin command to add currency, currency set, admin command to set balance. Oh, nice. So balance add. I like it changing it to currency remove. So like remove. That is awesome. Okay. So then the permissions, balance others, pay, and currency star, that's for the admins. Amounts must be positive integers, cannot pay yourself, cannot pay more than your balance. That's good. I didn't even think about this logic. Target player must be online /Bendit pay. That's a great, well, you don't really need to. You could always pay them offline too. So like target player must be online. No, target player must have a file, have an associated JSON file for Bendit pay. Prevent negative balances. Yes. So handle balance operations, view balance command, pay currency, admin command. And so I want to add something to this. I noticed this ticket is missing something. So we take a hexagonal architecture approach to our systems, and I'll explain this in a little bit. We use adapters to utilize services. So in the future, this feature will have an API component to it. So basically, I'll have a free version and a premium version. The free version will save files, physical files, like we said, JSON files on a per player basis. And then the premium version will save that data to like a DynamoDB in AWS. So here we have it. Let me explain that. So I explained it. The free version uses JSON files, and the premium version will send the data via API. So we need some kind of adapter to be able to determine which to use quickly. And check the config file. The API key will give it away, basically. So let's see how it changes this. Save that. Great, and now let's take a look at the changes. So architecture, hexagonal ports and adapters, create an iCurrency storage interface. Here's the API currency storage, JSON currency storage, perfect. Okay, I started studying the code a little bit, and I see I load up the config file. The config file has an API endpoint on it, and I take the API key as well, and I check if the API key is there. If not, I give a warning that their stuff is not configured. And then I realize I have this API client. So I take a look at the API client and I see this is how I start communicating to my endpoints in AWS. So I was trying to save player inventory because I need to save it into a database when you transfer from one server to another. So I'm currently building out the infrastructure for this, but it's not organized well inside of this plugin. And I think I just need to think about the architecture a little more. I need to be able to keep this maintainable before I even think about adding currency. Otherwise, this is just going to pile on. And you know what happens when you pile on a bunch of bad code? It turns into a pile of... Okay, so I need to start to rethink the architecture of this in order to make it work. And this is the only way you can succeed when you're dealing with an LLM. So basically we have our player and we have our system, which we can consider like a hexagon because we're going with the hexagonal approach to architecture. So we'll call this the core. And the player is going to interact with that core via some kind of adapter, right? So there's going to be some kind of adapter. I think I will use an ellipse to represent an adapter. So we'll call this like chat commands, right? And so a player can interact via a chat command. And can I change the style of this arrow? There we go. Interact with the chat command, and that chat command can interact with the core system. And then can I set this as the default style? Yes, I can. Perfect. So we have the player, the chat commands, and the core. And the chat commands, you could do all kinds of chat commands, right? So for right now, we have, for right now, we have teleport service. So I'm trying to still learn how to use this service. So /bendit teleport, right? And that will activate some kind of service. Am I able to expand the canvas on this thing? So let's go and create a service. And this service is the teleport service. And then we have another adapter. And the teleport service is a system within the core. So I will go like this. So I'll make this core much larger. I'll have the teleport service inside of there. I'll take these chat commands. This is an adapter, right? So now we have the Hytale API adapter, right? But I might have different. Right now I have one adapter here, and then right here is the Hytale server.jar. Right, and that's where the Java API lives. So this communicates outwards to the Hytale API adapter, and then it comes out to the Hytale server jar. So taking a look at this whole graph, we're zooming in. We have our player. How do I move with this? There we go. Right click. Player does a chat command. They might do /bendit teleport, and it activates the teleport service. That hits a Hytale API adapter, and that goes to the Hytale server.jar. But I think I want to make specialized adapters. So for example, right here, I would like the currency adapter, right? And then right here would be the teleport adapter. And it would call all of the relevant, and I might just have like a overall Hytale adapter here too, right? So Hytale API adapter. And this arrow would go to the API adapter. This currency adapter would go to the API adapter. And then we're going to go to the Hytale server jar. So essentially, we're going to call all of the classes. So we have common classes. We have teleport specific classes. We have the currency specific classes and this teleport service. And then we will have a currency service here. And this currency service uses the currency adapter. It's using the Hytale adapter, and you'll always be able to change the code whenever you need to or move and shift things around. So this is the hexagonal architecture approach. And so this is what I'm trying to build out. So my plan is just evolving over time. As you saw on the top here, a player can do some chat commands. It goes into the system, and services will reach out to various things to accomplish a goal, right? So now as I'm writing the code, I'm talking to AI. Right now I have a player doing a chat command. This chat command goes into our service, our core system, and that can activate the teleport service or the currency service. Now we have a server validation service that checks if the server is premium or free, right? So if it's free, it's just going to write to a local JSON file. If it's premium, it's going to go into my AWS databases, into my AWS backend. And then we have the Hytale API service, which talks to the Hytale server.jar. And this might turn into multiple services. So we'll see how this pans out. Something terrible just happened. I'm in the middle of fixing my code, making it so clean. Like this plugin used to be like 300 lines of code. Now I'm making it less than 50. And I want to remove this line. I wanted to make sure there's no dependencies. And I've reached my monthly limit. No! I'm absolutely useless now. Okay, so I ran into my monthly quota with Amazon Q. So I canceled that subscription and I created... Well, before I canceled that subscription, I started manually coding and I refactored a ton of stuff and the code is clean now. And I was really unhappy with the way that Claude organized the code. I should have told Claude how to organize the code from the beginning, but I'm having much cleaner output now that I'm diving deep in here and unraveling the spaghetti code. But I ended up getting a new subscription to move quickly because now that I laid out teleport add, I asked Claude to lay out teleport list, and it's not doing exactly... I told it to follow teleport add command, and it's not doing exactly what I said to do. So as I'm analyzing how Claude decided to build the teleport list command, I did not want it to use player adapter. There's only one service that I have using player adapter, and that should be teleport service. And so the AI doesn't quite recognize these simple things. So going back here, this player UUID command is from the player adapter. So therefore this line of code should actually live in the get destinations function. And so if we come here to the teleport service, there should be a get destinations function here. So we have a get destinations function. It's giving me an error. List cannot be resolved to a type. That's unfortunate. So I have to figure out, I'm going to ask Claude to figure out how to fix that. And then it just uses destination storage service. So this service should use the player UUID. So how I work is I could take this line of code, right? And I could paste it here. And now we're going to utilize the player UUID. This has to be the player ref. And now we have to go figure out and undo the code. But instead, what I can do is I can go to the teleport list command and I'll right click copy relative path. And I'll start to tell Claude Code what to do. So I'll say to, this file, line 36 of getting the player UUID. Let me think. Line 36 of getting the player UUID should go into the, and then I'll copy this relative path and say go into the teleport service, and the function name is get destinations function instead of teleport list command using player adapter. Okay, so let's see what it comes up with. And so Claude Code starts thinking. Let me read the files Claude says. And this will start changing the code in VS Code for me. So we'll see this change while Claude is working. Whoops. So every time Claude makes a change here, it asks me for permission. So let's see what it's doing. It's going to take the public list. It's going to change that to the player UUID. It's going to add the player ref parameter, which looks good. So I'll just press enter. Looks great. Thank you, Claude. Claude is going to continue vibing, and he's going to update. They're going to update the teleport list command, and let's see if that looks good. So they're going to remove the player UUID. They're going to rewrite this line, and they're going to use player ref as the parameter. So perfect. I'll continue with that line change. And dilly-dallying away. Very good, Claude Code. Do you want to make this edit to teleport list command? So let's see. Now we're going to remove the UUID because we're not getting the player UUID. So yep. We'll remove that from teleport list command. It's boogieing using over 1,000 tokens. And now it wants to test. So at this point, we can stop. So we've got the code changed. I used Claude Code. I didn't have to go and figure out like the parameters, fixing the parameters. Like, oh, now I need to send player ref instead. Like if I'm going to go and get the destinations, I have to send player ref instead of the player UUID, blah, 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 blah. And so now the code is clean. There's no more red lines. And we can check everything out. And it's looking great. Going to the teleport service. Working great. Come down here, teleport service uses player ID to get the player UUID. So you can see why I'm using AI to do this instead of doing it by hand, and why it's worth it for me, to why I'm useless when I don't have AI. It's just like so slow. So lately I've just been so frustrated with what's going on. Taking a look at these limits, these insane limits. I'm running into 96% of a daily session limit resets at 10 a.m. I never used to run into limits with these LLMs, and now I think they're putting this in place. It's craziness. And then they want you to upgrade for more. All right, I've just got the plugin all written up, and I've got it packaged. I've got my test server going. Let's jump in here. Let's see if our commands are going to work. Are we going to get an error right off the bat? I must see. So let's do bend it, teleport, list. Wrong number of arguments required. So if I do bend it dash help, it'll just give me all that, right? Slash bend it, teleport. No permissible subcommands. Oh, interesting. Wow. I have got to say, what a journey it has been. I finally finished refactoring all of the code. And after I refactored all of the code and made it really clean, and I got it working, there was one thing missing that I debugged, and that was a parent teleport command. So we have slash bend it, and then we have teleport, and then we have whatever command, right? Add, list, player, remove, update, right? So I had the parenting of the commands incorrect. After I fixed that bug, I said, okay, Claude Code, we're ready to add a bank feature to the system. So go ahead and create the feature. I also redid all of the adapters. So I have a ton of adapters that are hooked up directly to the Hytale server jar and pulls whatever it needs. And all of my main code does not touch the Hytale server.jar. So if any time Hytale decides they're going to change their code, well, I just change the relevant adapter and my core code remains the same. Okay, so that goes back to that draw IO diagram that I showed you. So I asked Claude Code, let's plan this. So let me start from the very top. I think it's going to show me. Oh, it doesn't quite show me all the way from the very top. But Claude Code planned all of this. And I went into plan mode and I said, hey, we need to write this plan. And then I say, okay, go, implement. Boom, 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 boom. Claude Code just goes to town. You can see here. Used up most of my my tokens. And so here it is, the actual plan, the implementation plan. We want to do bended bank. It shows it how to use it. Bended balance. You can check your own balance. You pay another player. You can check your transaction history, right? And so it creates a plan and it goes, okay, I'm going to change all of this stuff. This is how we're going to change it. These are the files that we're going to change. And then Claude Code just goes to work. Bam, 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 right? And it's like, okay, Let's do a few fixes, right? I got a little error there. It finished here. It shows, hey, this is how you have to use it. Bank balance, bank pay. So then now I'm in game. I'm in game now. And I've checked it out to see if it works. Let me relog. Log out, log back in. I'm in a test server. I've got a 24 gigabyte OVH cloud server. And I'm ready to launch this thing, man. We are about to have an economy up in here. So bend it bank. So I see bend it bank. Also, I should be able to teleport. So let me open. Oh, let me close that. Oh no, let me close that. Ouch! I'm on fire. Jeez. Okay, so I should be able to do bend it, teleport, spawn, and in 5 seconds I should move to the spawn location. Boom. That works wherever I set it. And then I should be able to do bend it, bank. I should see balance, pay history. So I'm going to do bend it, bank, history. I should see no transaction history. I should be able to do bend it, bank, pay. And I should be able to see player amount. I should be able to do bend it, bank, pay, Chris and the mic. 100, and it shouldn't let me. You cannot pay yourself. Bend it, and there's no other players here, so I can't pay them. But let me just try to pay a random person. Pay random 100. So you can't do that. As long as they've logged in, though, you can pay them. Bend it, bank, balance, and I have 0 coins. And you can change the name there of the coins. So everyone, that was my adventure to adding an economy to my Hytale server. So you all can join me down in the description. The link is below. I think I could do time, set, day. Perfect. And yeah, thank you all so much for joining me on this coding adventure. If you enjoy more videos like this, press the like button. Leave your comments down below. And let's go punch this skeleton. Let's fight him to the death. Who's gonna win? Fists or a mace? I'm doing no damage to him at all. Oh, I'm so dead. Okay. Bye.